All right, let's dive right in. Today, we are talking about a concept with a title that, let's be honest, is impossible to ignore. Nobody wants your shit. Now, it might sound a little harsh, maybe even grim, but trust me, what we're about to unpack is actually kind of life-changing. And this quote from Susan Ertz, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? We get so caught up thinking about the future, about leaving a legacy, about some far-off someday, that we completely forget to actually live in the here and now. So this whole idea is really about getting our lives in order, not just for some distant end, but to actually make the most of the life we have right in front of us. Okay, so the source material throws this really jarring term at us, death cleaning. I know, it sounds super morbid, like seriously depressing. But you gotta stick with me here, because what it really is, well, it's gonna surprise you. So this idea comes from a Swedish word, dolstädning. And it's not about some panicked last-minute frenzy. Not at all. It's this gradual, thoughtful process of sorting through your stuff so the people you care about most aren't left with a literal mountain of your things and a mountain of decisions when you're not around anymore. And this is where the whole thing just flips on its head. See, death cleaning isn't actually about preparing for death. It's about preparing to live a better life. It's not sad and morbid, it's totally empowering. And it's definitely not some grim chore. It's one of the most powerful forms of self-care you can do, and the benefits start, like, immediately. So yeah, here's the biggest takeaway. While the whole thing starts with this noble idea of sparing other people a huge hassle, the person who gets the biggest benefit from all this is you, right here, right now. It's about creating a home and a life that you can actually enjoy to the fullest, starting today. And listen, this isn't just some feel-good theory. The source points to actual, scientifically proven benefits. We're talking better sleep, a boost in your mental health, having more energy, feeling more creative, less anxiety, and even fewer arguments. You start to really appreciate the stuff you do have, and you free up your time, your space, and even your money for the things you actually want in your life. Okay, so if it's so great, what's holding us back, right? Why are so many of our homes just packed with stuff we don't need or maybe don't even like? Well, it almost always comes down to the excuses we tell ourselves. Yup, according to the source material, the biggest thing standing in your way isn't the pile of stuff in the garage, it's your own excuses. We are absolute masters at rationalizing why we should just hang on to everything, and it's time to call ourselves out on it. Oh yeah, here it is, the heavyweight champion of all clutter excuses. We keep that bread maker we used exactly one time, the skis from a decade ago, that genuinely absurd amount of wrapping paper, all for this imaginary someday that, let's be real, almost never shows up. But here's the brilliant comeback to that. What's actually wasteful isn't getting rid of something you might use. The real waste is letting unused junk take up valuable real estate in your home and, honestly, in your head. That space could be used for something that makes your life better right now. Ugh, this one. The guilt is real. You look at that expensive jacket you never wear or that fancy kitchen gadget that's still in the box, and just the memory of the price tag makes you feel like you're legally obligated to keep it forever. Here's the reframe that changes everything. That money? It's gone. It's a sunk cost. Keeping the item is not going to bring it back. So instead, try thinking of letting it go as an investment in your own sanity. Your peace of mind is worth so much more than the lingering sting of buyer's remorse. And now for the really tough one. This is the one that gets a lot of us. You look at an old concert t-shirt or a chipped coffee mug, and you're not just seeing a thing, you're seeing a person, a place, a perfect moment in time. But here's the thing we have to remember. The memory isn't in the object. The memory is in you. The source says it perfectly. A thing is not a memory. It's just a thing. You can absolutely hold on to the feeling, the story, the love, without having to keep the dusty object that goes with it. Okay, so we've officially debunked the excuses. Now what? How do we actually start this thing? The secret is to stop looking at it as this one giant, overwhelming job and start seeing it as building a new skill. The skill of making clear, confident decisions. The source calls this building your fuck it muscles. It's brilliant. It's not about a weekend-long cleaning marathon. It's about training yourself to let go. So, first step, start with an easy win. Just clean out one single junk drawer. That's it. It's a small victory that proves you can do this. Second, tackle the one thing that pisses you off every day. That pile of mail, the shoes you always trip over. Get rid of it. The daily dose of relief you'll feel is an incredible motivator. These 2 steps get the momentum going. You're stacking up wins, you're feeling better, and you're building the confidence for the harder stuff. And finally, you draw a line in the sand. You come up with a personal rule for what stays. It could be as simple as, does this make me happy? Or have I used this in the last year? That one question becomes your guide for everything else. And as you get better at this, you'll notice your whole perspective starts to change. It's not just about getting rid of junk anymore. It becomes about something way, way deeper. It becomes about the kind of legacy you actually want to leave behind. And man, look at the difference. Leaving behind a legacy of stuff? Well, that's a burden. It's boxes and boxes filled with stressful decisions, guilt, and maybe even resentment for the people you love. But a legacy of stories? That is a true gift. That's memories, connection, and joy. It's a life that's celebrated with clarity, not obscured by clutter. Because at the end of the day, we have to realize that without its story, your most treasured possession is just another thing. That old sled in the attic is just junk. Until someone tells the story of how your dad used to ride it down the hill with you, both of you laughing the whole way. The story is where the magic is. So that's the real question this all leaves us with. This isn't about having a perfect empty house. It's about deciding what your story is. When you're no longer around to tell it yourself, what will the things you leave behind say about you? Will they tell a story of a life filled with joy and purpose, or just a story of stuff? The cool part is, you get to decide.